Trigger warning, this episode contains discussions of domestic violence, violence, and drug use. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Fake Straight Podcast. I'm the host, your girl Tanara, and before we dive in, please remember that the opinions expressed by any guest on this show do not necessarily represent my views or the views of Fake Straight Media. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Grab your favorite beverage, or mine, a glass of champagne, clink clink, and let's get into it, y'all. Hey y'all, welcome back to Fake Straight. I am your host, your girl, XOXO Tanara, and we have another guest with us. Moni, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Go by Moni or Moni No Love. I'm from Houston, Texas, and currently I'm single. I am bisexual, and my pronouns are she and her.
Tell us the backstory behind this name.
It's basically because I've been through so many failed relationships with men and women. I don't think I have any more love to give.
Do you feel like you started dating women specifically because you were hurt by so many men, or was it just happenstance?
So I was vulnerable at the time and probably curious because in high school I was into, I had 5 boyfriends. I dated older men. Women was never in the picture, but I was in an abusive relationship. Like, this was my second abusive relationship that I was in with a man. And when I left him, I met my sister's friend, and my sister was a lesbian. She was a stud, and she introduced me to the gay scene. But at that time, it was more partying, having fun, the nightlife. I never was attracted to anyone.
You were kind of your sister's wing woman and just hanging out.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that experience and being in that community.
When you met her, was there an immediate attraction?
I would say that there wasn't an immediate attraction for me. Yeah, my mind never went there. But my car broke down. I called my sister, and my sister was like, "I'm gonna send my friend." And I was like, "Okay, come help me or whatever." So she arrived.
In distress.
Yeah. She arrives, and we're sitting in the car, and she just kind of rubbed my leg a little bit. And
what do you mean? Why would she just rub your leg?
I don't even know what it was, because in that moment I was stressed out.
Oh, so she was consoling you.
Consoling me, yeah.
I thought you meant she reached over and grabbed your leg. I was
no. She was consoling me, but okay. I felt like it was a bit much, but surprisingly, I didn't resist. I felt like, okay, I want to know more. I want to know more what this is about, because I never had been approached by a woman. But anyway, so from that moment, we just, talked on the phone, and some kind of way she ended up moving in with me.
How long was it? Don't lie. It better not have been like 15 days. How long was it?
Before she moved in?
How long were y'all talking?
I'm going to be honest with you. It might have been a week. So yeah, I moved pretty fast.
That is beyond U-hauling. That is beyond. That is like Ubering.
Yes. I mean, I can't really remember exactly, but I do know we moved pretty fast. But it was because she made me feel comfortable. She made me feel like, okay, this is what I want. And I just went with the flow.
As you were dating her, were you like, I think I'm gay, I'm a lesbian? Or you were, this is cool for right now?
It never crossed my mind that I was gay. It was just like, I'm dating a woman. I never said, oh, I'm gay now. But I just feel like, okay, she's the male in the relationship. I'm the woman, and I'm being submissive to her. I'm, acting as if I was in. Yeah.
Did you do that because that's how you are? Or did you do that because that was the expectation? How did y'all know these are the gender roles in this relationship?
I think it was because that's how I am. And then of course her physical appearance. I mean, she really could pass for a man. So yeah, I just went with the flow until my sister passed away. And once my sister passed away, this is when things started getting weird. She started acting crazy.
What do you mean by that? How long were y'all together before she started getting crazy?
So we were together 6 months. So 5 months after we were together.
And before we get into the bad and ugly, what did you like about dating her?
She was just very attentive. She was very kind, very sweet. And, she just did things that I didn't expect for her. She acted as the male in the relationship, providing and making me laugh, just the normal things. Like she would cook, she cleaned, she did a lot, but she just was very attentive and affectionate. Like I'm big on affection, and she was, made sure that I felt good and that I was happy.
One of my good friends said she saw a meme where it said, what women think is special for men to do, that's what lesbians do on the first date. It's so true. Everything you thought you wanted, like, oh my gosh, you're opening doors, you're paying,
right.
You're thoughtful. You put your thoughts into gifts and dates and all of that. And you're like,
candlelit dinners. Yeah.
Romantic.
Yeah, very romantic. I can say that that's what I really liked about her.
Yeah.
And she was a hustler. I mean, we probably did some things we had no business doing, but she made sure we had
has the statute of limitations passed? Because I need to get into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you were dating this woman and you were an instant lesbian. Are y'all talking about marriage, or how serious is this?
I don't remember talking about marriage at all. It was just going with the flow. We met, we moved in together. She had 3 kids.
So then what changed, or what started to change?
My sister tragically passed away. She was murdered.
I'm sorry to hear that. So sorry.
Thank you. So with that, I felt like that would bring she and I closer. Even closer. Her being my sister's friend, the way my sister passed away. During that time, we party drug. We did ecstasy, and I mean that was really big in the gay clubs. Maybe she abused it, and it just had her acting crazy,
Yeah.
And of course, by my sister passed away, none of us was in our right mind, it was very hard for all of us. So I come home, I walk in the house, it's pitch black, open the door, I go in, I close the door, and she comes from behind me. And she puts the gun to my head, and she's basically like, "They gonna find you in here stinking," like she was about to kill me.
In the wait, there had never been any other instance of violence or anything before this happened?
Nothing serious, nothing that would make me believe. Yeah.
I've never popped pills, and I don't want to say this like I down anyone. Enjoy recreation how everyone sees fit. Take care of yourself and others. But I don't know like what that looks like. People act like that from pills.
So I'm not saying that.
I don't want to sound like Judge Mathis. It's giving
so
more than pills.
I don't want to say that people act like that because I mean I didn't act like I think it's different for everybody. So maybe there was some type of chemical imbalance because I mean we can get to that part later, but I eventually abused the drug after my sister passed because I had to find a way to cope. But at no point in time I was like, I want to, pull out a gun on somebody. No.
So has she been? So you get home. You say you were out. Was she texting you, being like, "Get your ass home" or anything? Like there was no indication. That's what I'm like trying to clarify.
I don't remember us having an argument.
How did you get out of that situation?
I just remember talking to her. Hey, this is not something you want to do. I love you. Just really kind of talking my way out of it. And eventually she calmed down. And
I'm so sorry. One, I'm sorry this happened to you. What a traumatic fucking experience. And then the second thing I can think of, like, I don't know, high school, college friends that used, and they were just like sweating and dancing. Like they were rubbing each other. They were up all night. I mean, it still looked weird to me, so I never did it, but it wasn't this.
There could have been other things that I didn't know about. I didn't take that lightly. Because what happened to my sister, I'm like, okay, you gonna do me like this and da-da. So I called laws.
So you calmed her down, talked her off her ledge. Was she aware of what happened before you called the police?
I just kind of played it off. At that time, I'm like, okay, my life is in danger. I remember the police knocking on the door. She had no clue. And I think she was on probation at the time or something. Yeah, but at that time, it's like, okay, you didn't
I
care
don't
about
talk to anybody. I talked to somebody with a record once. I never again, never again. I'm all for prison reform, but not with me.
I mean,
Yeah.
they came in, they arrested her. So as far as I know, she went to jail. She may have been like a year or two.
Wait, she went to jail. I thought that. Wait, hold
I'm
on.
sorry, I
First
don't
of
mean to
all,
laugh.
you skip to the end. Yeah, this is not funny, and domestic violence is not funny. How you skip to the end, you were like, yeah, the police arrested her, and then she may have done a year or two. Okay, wait, she got arrested. Did she call you? Did she try to say don't press charges?
I do remember her reaching out to me when she was in jail, and I probably went to go see her.
Wait, don't say you probably went to go see her.
I remember.
You put her in jail and then you went to go see her?
And I remember going to see her when she was locked up because she said she had got my name tattooed on her. So I remember all of that. But eventually I moved on.
Wait, Moni, I do have a question about this because you said before you started dating this woman, you had just gotten out of an abusive relationship with a man. So what was that like after you had this abusive relationship with this guy, and then you end up with this woman and it's great and all of these things, and then she ends up putting this gun to your head? Like, what was your mindset after that? And like, how do you heal from that? Because that's very traumatic. Both of those experiences are very traumatic.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel life moved so fast for me that I don't even think I've completely healed because it was one thing after the other.
You got to keep going.
Got to keep pushing. At some point, I realized that I had not grieved, been able to grieve from my sister's death.
Yeah, because that's a lot for someone to go through.
Very, very, very traumatic, which led up to me. Like I said, I abused ecstasy because I just didn't know. I didn't know how to handle it. Back then it's like I didn't go to counseling, didn't seek therapy, none of that. I just was living life on edge.
Not saying all Black people come from this traumatic, horrific background, but those of us that do come from more adverse backgrounds, it's you get through that. Then when you're 18, either you go to college or you start working, you're never processing your child, and then you're in the workforce, and then you're paying back student loans, or you are still trying to climb, but you're always doing something. By the time you get to your late 30s, that's when you're like, shit, I've healed from everything. Not only have I not healed from it, like I'm actually carrying this in relationships, I'm carrying it in friendships, I'm carrying it in how I show up. So it's difficult because we always have to keep going. We're not at liberty to say, hey, I need a mental break. I need a leave of absence.
It reaches a point where you're suffering from anxiety, you're suffering from depression. And I went through all of that. I finally said, okay, I gotta see a psychiatrist, I gotta see somebody because it affected me as a mother.
Yeah. Because while all of this is going on, you still, for the women that have children, it's like all of this is going on. You haven't processed this, but you still got to show up at work. You got to show up as a mom. You have to, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. So you stopped talking to this woman, and that was that. Oh, wait.
I'm sorry. I was at work one day. This was years later. I don't know how many years later. I'm sitting at my desk working, and somebody walks in the door. When I look across the hallway, it's her.
How long had it been since you'd seen her?
I'm gonna say roughly 2 years. And heart was beating fast. I was scared because I'm like, I put this woman in jail. Yeah. She's really mad. She's gonna hurt, Yeah. But luckily, she just smiled and
you don't need to go back to prison, ma'am. Like, keep it.
She smiled.
I call him again.
We talked. She pretty much said she forgave me and she was sorry.
She forgave you for what? Calling the police?
For calling the police on
Bye. I don't forgive you for pulling a gun on me.
Right. And I was thinking back, I'm like, I'm crazy for letting her back in.
And it's fine, but like, whatever, healing comes in all different, whatever. And forgiveness goes, all different kind of ways. But what you're not going to do is say, I forgive you. I didn't need you to forgive me. I actually just forgave you. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure. Okay, so you had this traumatic ass experience with first woman, which I think
Right.
would turn me off from all women. Did that not turn you off from dating women?
It didn't turn me off from dating women, but it did turn me off from dating stud. I'm like, okay, let me try something different
Yeah.
because I did find myself still attracted to women. And because now I kind of got my feet wet,
Yeah.
I kind
Whole
of
new
got a little,
world now.
yeah,
I got options,
I got a
okay?
little taste. So it didn't turn me off at all. I did continue to be interested in women, but no relationships.
Sexually attracted. I don't want to have a relationship with women.
No relationship because I was so traumatized from that. Yeah,
So, did you start dating femmes?
I did.
I was just talking with one of our guests who identifies
Mhm.
as bisexual and she's femme. And so we were talking about that and saying, like, when you're femme, it's so awkward. If you're not in a queer space, it's so awkward to let people know, hey, I'm actually a lesbian or I'm bisexual. How were you able to do that so quickly?
You know, I just like the fact that I'm able to live in my truth. I do know that if I see a woman, it's a slight chance that I'm attracted to her. Or if a woman approaches me and she's my type,
Mhm.
I'm going to entertain it. So it's
Yeah,
not hard for me.
I know that's right. Again, I
It's not
got
hard for
options.
me.
Do you
Yeah,
approach women?
I noticed that I do that when I'm tipsy. It's easier when
And
I'm tipsy.
how do you know the woman you're approaching is either interested or bisexual or a lesbian? Like, or you're just like, I'm gonna shoot my shot regardless.
I've learned that a lot of women, I'm gonna say bi curious, like
Everybody's a little bit gay, like everybody except my
yeah.
sister, but everybody is a little bit gay.
Yeah, I just think that, I haven't really had a situation where well, I will say this. I did see a waitress. She was like a soft stud.
Uh-huh.
And I wrote my number on the receipt.
Okay, okay.
But she didn't call me. So so
She
I
was
was
like, actually,
like,
I'm just a Tom girl. I'm actually not a soft.
so
Sometimes
I don't know.
because it's like, okay, are you a Tom girl? Or are you a soft stud?
How do you know? I guess you really don't know unless they tell you, because
I'm trying to find out, like,
a
yeah.
lot of time they will tell me like, well, the woman that I did end up dating and actually liking was someone that was in another state. Well, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but I met her while I was in a relationship with my ex-boyfriend. Yeah. And
Okay.
I met her on Instagram. She slid in my DM.
So you had a whole boyfriend. How long had you and the guy been talking?
I'm gonna say at that time we probably had been together about 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah,
Significant.
yeah, we had been together about
Go
5 years.
for it. So y'all were in it. Were y'all living together?
No,
Okay. So 5 years, but a committed relationship.
yes.
And she slides in your DMs. Why and how did she slide in your DMs?
At first it was just like flirting.
Uh-huh.
I remember it just being flirting, very innocent, maybe like an emoji or something.
Always starts that way. That's what don't be sliding my girlfriend DMs. Like, heart eyes. Like,
Yeah, and I never really entertained it. Thinking back, it was a couple of times that she DM'd me and I didn't entertain it. But I think it wasn't until he and I started kind of having some issues. That's when I decided I would go ahead and entertain it. But at the same time, he knew. I just told him I had a female friend.
I got a little friend.
I had a friend. He was okay with it. It's weird, but he was okay with me having male friends and female friends that I was attracted to.
He sounds like a porn director. He's
I
like, you
know.
have men and women friends. Was he black?
Yeah, yeah, he was black.
Was he
I
older
think
than you?
I think it was more like I'm assuming like a fetish. Like he
Yeah. What was his sign? This is interesting.
I could go on dates with guys,
It's progressive.
but I wasn't intimate with anybody.
This seems like the perfect relationship for you. Why did this work out? This seemed like this was a good fit for you. Why did this work out with this guy?
I feel like if you don't take time to get to know someone and how they were raised,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that you can overlook. So he had a hard time showing me affection. He didn't know how to love me the way I wanted to be loved,
Got it. Yeah.
nice trips, birthday gift, all of that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But if you can't show me affection in public, then what are we doing?
Was it just in public, or was he just a non-affectionate person, or was he super conservative?
It was just in public. Behind doors, it was great.
Is
But
PDA important to you?
very important. I want you to be out of my skin.
How do you deal with that when a lot of people are conservative or don't like PDA? That's a definite no for you then.
Definitely no. I mean, because the way I
You
look
want them
at
to
it,
like lick your face. You're at dinner.
I mean, do I want that?
Okay, well,
Yes, of course. But does it have to be at dinner? No. I know how to control it, but I just want that person to make me feel like there's nobody else in the room, and he couldn't do that. If we were in Italy and we just had dinner and I'm trying to hold his hand and he
calm down. Okay, no.
yeah.
Calm down. I'm a very affectionate person. Love is love. I don't give a shit. I love displaying love. So it doesn't matter to me. I've dated people who are more reserved. That's fine. But to your point, you still have to show me interest. You need to be rubbing on my leg under the table.
Yes. Give me a kiss on my cheek. I mean, it doesn't have to be, crazy, but just something. And that's why eventually it ended. He didn't really say much, but it wasn't until I started showing the woman more attention. So now you wanna act right, because I did eventually
Yeah, he's like, suck my tongue now. We're at Starbucks. Like
eventually, I did tell her I loved her. She told me she loved me. You know how when you're going through something and then that other person comes in and fills that void, it's like, okay, so you didn't want to do it. So now someone else is. In my situation, he was aware. It's not like I was hiding anything. It's not like I was cheating. He knew what was going on, but when he saw how serious it started to get, it was like an eye opener. Like, okay, well, no, you can't talk to her. I don't want you talking to her. But if you would have been doing what you were supposed to do,
then I would have never been talking to her, sir. And you allowed this. Now I'm in.
Exactly.
Okay. So what is it that stops you from saying I'm going to date women? And I do want to put this disclaimer out. It's not like I'm ever trying to convince anyone to be a lesbian. I'm not the lesbian whisperer.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm 40. So at this point, I feel like if the opportunity presents itself, I would still go for it.
With a woman.
With a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does a woman need to have in order for you to be like, I'm in a way, not in a week, we're moving in together, but I'm in to look at, maybe this could be a partnership. What does a woman need to have?
To me, it's the same qualities. Loving, respectful, someone that I can trust, someone that's loyal, family oriented, someone that I'm attracted to. And sometimes I feel like I don't even know what I'm attracted to. I go off of the energy, the vibe, and whether or not we actually connect.
Wait a minute. Wait, that's real and same. Also, physically, before you get to the energy and the vibe, you like, okay, maybe no. What is like if you're talking about a woman, what's like ideal physical for you? I'm really just throwing this plug in case anyone watches this, and at this point, then this is love connection, okay? It's giving 2024 love connection for the girlies.
I like pretty, beautiful women, well kept, well groomed, someone who probably resembles me, like as far as the physique, I can't.
Is that not conceited, Moni? You're like, if
No.
they look like me, then that would be perfect.
I would just say, full figured.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'4". I try not to just date so much with the physical attraction, but I know I need to be able to look at you.
Yeah. Like I want to be attracted to you. But
right.
You're right, you get attracted. I say this all the time. Like I'm attracted to energy and aura. I'm attracted to ambition. I'm attracted to, sense of humor. So it's like there's certain things are non-negotiable for me, but other than that, I'm like, I'm just drawn to who I'm drawn to. So I feel that.
Right. Exactly. And then it's like people ask me all the time, well, what is your type? And I'm like, Well, hell, I thought that was my type, but it
Right. And
wasn't.
it ain't
You
work
know,
out. Okay.
and I thought this was
What's next? Look, I'm a data unicorn. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So you and your ex boyfriend, the one that you were dating, and then you had your friend out of town. That seemed like a perfect relationship for you. Have you
right.
ever thought of a poly relationship? Is that your next step? Are you baby stepping your way into poly?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I did at one point kind of have it presented to me with my most recent ex, where once I found out he cheated, it was like, hey, I want to be with her or I want to be with both of y'all. And at the time, I
Both
was
move.
so in out, yeah, I was so in love that I accepted it, but we never.
Wait. Was she into it? He had already convinced her? Because it's different when you, as a woman, if you're like, this is my gig, I want to do this. But it's different when a man is, I'm going to convince you to be poly. Did he convince? Because it
I
sounds like he
don't.
convinced you.
He didn't have to convince me because I had already messed up. So it was me like, oh,
Oh,
I messed up. That
yeah.
caused him to entertain this woman. I now know about her, and he's saying that he wants to be with both of us. We never ever met physically, like in person, but
But
I
you were
knew about.
okay. And you
Yeah.
were okay with if he was like, if this is a situation with us.
In the beginning, I was okay with it.
Were you attracted to her?
No,
Oh.
no, I wasn't attracted to her, but I think it was because I felt like she was interfering with my relationship because she knew about me. But eventually it got to the point where I was being treated like number two and not number one. So then I realized, like, okay, this not gonna work. This not gonna work. So
Yeah. Like,
you
no.
can have them, and I'm gonna go on by my life.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I don't think I would do the poly. I like my whoever to myself.
But you seem to still be very attracted to men.
Yeah.
So in the ideal world, and again, I'm not selling anybody on poly. I don't. Poly isn't my
Are
thing.
you open to that?
No, why would I share myself with anybody else? I'm not sharing myself or my partner with no one else.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it. To each its own. Like, I don't give a shit what people do in their household.
Right.
For me, I would never do it. I want 100% of the attention, affection. Also, I've had this conversation before with people. When people talk about poly, I'm like, mofos don't be showing up 100% in the relationship you're in now. So how you about to have two of us? Like,
That's true.
not really excelling in this mode.
That's true. That
Yeah,
I hadn't
like,
thought about it that way, but that is true.
like if you're not excelling in this relationship, why would I allow that? And for me, it just seems like so much work, right? I got shit to do. When I show up in a relationship, I feel like I show up as my absolute best, and
Yes.
I don't have the energy, capacity, resources to do that times two. So like that's my long answer to say hell no.
I feel like that's why I'm more open to just casual, where it's not like when I say casual, it would be okay, myself and my partner, whether it's a man or a woman, and then we go out the country and we have fun. Like it could be something like
Are
that.
you friends with Donnie? Because this sounds exactly like what
I am. Hey, Donnie.
Hey, Donnie. Donnie said, do what you do out of the country, okay?
Out of the country.
Anything else you want to share with the viewers and listeners?
I mean, like I said, I'm single. I'm honestly just not ready for a commitment. So a lot of people want a relationship, but like you said earlier, whenever I am in a relationship, I give 110%, whether that person is giving it or not. And I feel like I deserve someone that is going to give me, that's going to give me 110%. And
I said it's one of my core values in life, reciprocity. Like, why am I giving all this and you're giving, that don't even make sense. Hustling backwards.
So they know where to find me, Moni No Love, and it's love with 2 V's on Instagram. And again, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your journey. When I started this podcast, I was like, I want to share like the queer experience for Black and Brown. I want all different voices, perspectives, all that. So thank you for bringing your lens and your view to the show. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. I got one special thing for you.
Oh, is it?
Before I go.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna warn you. I ain't played this since 8th grade, and that was like a really long time ago. So I just know a few notes.
It's okay. This is really like a talent show on like Love Connection at this point. This is special talent, y'all.
So let's see what I got.
Okay.
Look, that's it. You know, that's my little hidden talent. It's when I literally little.
Lizzo did it a little bit better, but okay, I'm gonna accept that because I told you I was excited when
you
I saw
told
that.
me, so I was like, let me pull it out. And my ex bought me that, by the way.
I appreciate you. Thank y'all for joining us. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Holla.
Thank you.
As always, remember, you define you. Do not let others define you. Thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode of the Fake Straight Podcast. You can follow us on all the socials at Fake Straight Pod. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you want to hear more of. Tell us what you love, what you didn't love. All that good stuff. And until next time, holla.